Hey, it's Linda with No Frills ASMR. So we started looking at this book, what was it, a week or two ago? And I thought it was pretty fun to look at. It's called Who Knew? Things You Didn't Know About Things You Know Well. Now, there was at least one fact in here that I questioned. I don't remember what it was now. There may have been more than one. But it's still kind of fun to look at and talk about. It won't just be a straight up reading because every fact makes me think of a story. Not every fact, but some of them. Anyway, I'm filming this tonight, but I probably won't post it for a few days because I'm going to my parents' house to help out because they need a little help right now, and hopefully that'll actually be a nice relaxing time. And my sister's gonna come, so we'll all be together, so that'll be fun. But I wanted to just record a few things before I go so that there's some things for you guys to watch. And once I get there, I'm actually thinking of bringing my little light and camera and stuff so that maybe I'll shoot a few things there, because I remember, I don't know if you guys saw, I talked about how when I was in high school I bought a whole encyclopedia set. Maybe we can look at that. I don't know if I find something interesting while I'm there. So anyway, for now, who knew? Things you didn't know about things you know well. And I think I saved the page last time. Take the cover off. I don't know why. I like a book. I'll just the way it is. The number of cricket chirps you count in 15 seconds. Oh, I have a story about that. The number of cricket chirps you count in 15-second intervals plus 37 will tell you the current air temperature. Well, I do remember doing this as a kid. We'd all count how many cricket chirps and then add 37. And everybody would come up with a different number. But they'd all be close enough probably to what the air temperature was. So I don't know. But the story I was going to tell, my grandmother, grandma, but she lived to be 104. My voice just made a weird noise, sorry. And by the way, if it bothers you, I apologize, but I am sucking on this Hall's, sorry for the crinkle, Hall's cough suppressant. Somebody said to put 2 of these, I think they said the honey flavor, in a cup of hot water and drink it. I'm so interested. I want to know. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. But hopefully that doesn't bother you. But it helps keep me from coughing. So anyway, so my grandmother, who lived to be 104, she just died like, I don't know, I think 3 years ago. She told me that in the Smoky Mountains, in Cades Cove, if you go there on this particular night, I think it's in June, maybe June 22nd, you go up there and all of the, okay, whoa, this is not a cricket story. I just realized this has nothing to do with this. Forget that this had, okay. So you go up there on this night in June and all of the lightning bugs will flash at the exact same moment and the exact same speed for an hour. Or maybe it's overnight, I don't remember. But or fireflies, some people call them fireflies, I call them lightning bugs. But they all flash on that one night at the exact same time. Over and over again. And it's real magical. So, That's a good story. I don't know if it's true. I think it's true. And she said it only happens at Kate's Cove. I don't know if that's true either. But if you say otherwise, you're calling my grandmother a liar. No, she told a lot of stories, and some of them were true and some of them weren't. But I kind of think that one, I think I looked it up, and it was actually true. You know, it's weird because she lived to be 104, and she used to tell stories of growing up and not having electricity running. Well, she didn't have plumbing. I mean, they lived out in the country, and like she would talk about how they had I forget, an ice box basically out back that would be underground to keep their stuff cold. And she remembers like the electric guy coming to the house and trying to convince them to get electricity. I think that was her. I think it was her grandma's house. Like her family lived in, I think, Richmond. Oh no, now I'm getting confused. No, I guess she just didn't have it. Maybe it was her house. Anyway, whatever. Okay. I'll have to get my story straight. Maybe I'll tell you grandma's story, but I'm not good at remembering them. I'll ask my mom and sister when I'm there. Bulls are colorblind and cannot see red. It is the bright color and motion of the cape that causes them to charge. Okay. I don't like that. Bull whips, when properly snapped, exceed speeds of 742 miles per hour, thus breaking the sound barrier. That's why they go whoosh, because it's like breaking the sound barrier. Okay. It makes me think of Indiana Jones. Did any of you see that new Indiana Jones movie? I wanted to love it so much because I love Indiana Jones. But I didn't feel like they used Harrison Ford. Like, he wasn't funny at all in that movie. And then it was pretty much a long car chase. So, I don't know. The ostrich cannot fly, but it can outrun a racehorse. Okay. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Okay. The original Volkswagen Beetle was commissioned by Adolf Hitler and designed by Ferdinand Porsche. I've heard that. He designed it as the people's car. I wonder if that's one of those facts that's kind of like sort of true. Like he commissioned it and then they designed it. Yeah, well, okay. I guess. In the early 1920s, taxi cab company owner John Hertz, who would later go on to start a rental car business, funded a University of Chicago study to determine which color in the spectrum was most visible from a far distance. When the answer came back yellow, he had all the cars in his fleet painted exactly that, beginning a tradition that would catch on nationwide and carry over to school buses and traffic signs. I've never heard that. Makes sense. I believe it. The name Jeep is a derivative of the expression GP, military slang for general purpose vehicle. I think in the video I did on the Big Three, in the comments, somebody said that exact thing. So to that person, thank you. And they agree. The name Nike emanates from Greek mythology. Appropriately, she was the winged goddess of victory. Yeah. The company's famed swoosh logo was purchased from a portfolio of a student at Portland State for $35. The design was purposefully created and positioned to not only serve as a product ID, but also to give the shoe additional lateral support. Is that right? I want to watch that movie Air, about the Air Jordans. I heard it was only okay, but I don't know. I like Matt Damon. Actually, I like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck together. I think, they're both in that movie. It might be fun to watch. Nike's signature design came when a former runner at the University of Oregon and his college coach, in an attempt to build a better, lighter sneaker, took a piece of rubber, stuck it into a waffle iron, and created a crisscross patterned sole that markedly increased traction. Okay. When G.H. Bass introduced a casual slip-on loafer based on one being manufactured and worn in Oslo, he paid tribute to the shoe's Norwegian roots and called his version Weegens. I want to go back to this Nike thing. Design came when a former runner in University of Oregon. Did you guys watch? Oh my gosh, what is it called? It was a Netflix multi-part documentary about a cult, and Sheila was the woman, and the guy, I can't think of his name. Gosh, it's been so many years, but I remember that one of the talking heads was the guy who started Nike, and I bet that's him. What was that called? And right at this very moment, I could not know football terms, and I'm like, whatever. But not knowing the name of this documentary is going to drive me crazy. And they all drove around in like Mercedes, and they all wore this like pink, red, like a dark pink outfits. Oh, it was crazy. It was a crazy story. And they took over this whole area of land. All right, somebody's got to tell me. But I'm not putting this out for days. I'm going to have to look it up. It's going to come to me. Panama hats are actually made in Ecuador. The Beach Boys toyed with calling themselves the Pendletons, figuring that if they did, they would get free shirts. Why do I feel like we read these? I feel like I remember reading that one. When former chicken plucker turned singer Ernest Evans decided to change his name, he chose Chubby Checker to honor his idol, Fats Domino. What? I've never in my life thought about that. So when he picked a name, he went with Chubby Checker because he was a fan of Fats Domino. That's hilarious. I know a lot about this kind of stuff, and I've never heard that before. I gotta go tell everybody. Among the 437 folk and roll singers who answered the 1965 audition call to be a monkey were Stephen Stills, who was rejected because he had bad teeth and a receding hairline, Harry Nielsen, and Paul Williams. Huh. Wow. That's interesting. I wonder what Harry Nilsson looked like at that time. 2 years later, when the group went out on their first concert tour, their non-billed opening act was Jimi Hendrix for the Monkees. That's crazy. Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, that's crazy. I was going to tell the Woodstock story, but you know what? Maybe we'll just do a video on Woodstock so I can get my story straight. Because of Davy Jones's huge popularity, he was so cute. As a member of the Monkees, another young singer, I just said singer, singer in London, also named Davy Jones, was forced to change his name to David Bowie. That's interesting. I would have thought Bowie was around long before Davy Jones' popularity with the Monkees. Don't you think so? Don't you think David Bowie? I I want to double check this fact. Is that really why David Bowie changed his name? Because of the Monkees, Davy Jones? Maybe. I mean, I guess. The jukebox got its name from juke, Jook, African American slang for dance. I've never heard that. That's interesting. Kimosabi means white shirt in Apache. So is that offensive? Did I just say something offensive? I hope not. I hope not. TIP is an acronym for to ensure promptness, and once upon a time was given in advance. I always felt like as a waitress, because, I waited tables for like at least 13 years. Sometimes I kind of wish that was still, like, I remember one time a guy, he was what I called him at the time was a tool, and I would stand by that. He was one of those kind of guys. But he put out I think it was a 20. And he goes, for every mistake you make, I take money away. You know what I did? I grabbed the 20 and I said, I don't make mistakes. He laughed, but he was still a tool. I was like, ugh, okay. The word news was coined from the fact that early daily papers carried images of globes on their mastheads and boasted that the reports came from all directions. North, east, west, and south. What? So they're saying the word news, N-E-W-S, comes from north, east, west, and south. If I knew that, I forgot it because that's interesting. Okay. X's symbolized kisses because in ancient days, when few people knew how to write, they would simply sign an X to show their agreement. Then kiss the mark to emphasize their sincerity. What? Really? I haven't heard that either. So they drew an X and then went kissed it. That's kind of cute. The phrase hanky-panky stems from the magician's practice of using a handkerchief in one hand to distract the audience from noticing what he is doing with the other. What does that have to do with hanky-panky? Oh, because you're doing it like under the table, like sneaky, hanky-panky. Because hanky-panky, means like sexy times, right? So what is this? Is magician practice of using a handkerchief in one hand to distract the audience from noticing what he's doing in the other. So is hanky-panky really like a sneaky sex thing, I guess? I don't know. I thought it just meant any kind of. No word in the English language rhymes with month, orange, silver, or purple. Month. Orange. Silver. How about purple? All right. The only word in the English language with 5 vowels in a row is queuing, unless you spell meow, M-I-A-O-U, as some dictionaries do. Really? In which case, meowing also has 5. 5 vowels in a row. Queuing. Okay. Stewardess is the longest word that is typed using only the left hand. Okay. Maine is the only state whose name is just one syllable. Maine. I mean, I believe them. You feel like there's another one, don't you? But I'm like going through them in my head, no? There are portions of Wisconsin that are farther east than parts of Florida. You guys know I gotta get my map out. There are parts of Wisconsin that are further east. Oh, then parts of Florida. Okay, so if you're here, this Pensacola area is slightly more western than the most east of Wisconsin. Well, okay. All right, yeah. Yeah, and the one, you've got Utah, that's to Ohio. My mom grew up in the South, and she tells a story about, she was in class and they were learning syllables, and this new young teacher was in, like, while their other teacher was out because she was pregnant or something, I forget. But this new young teacher came in and she said, "How many syllables does and have?" And all the kids said 2. And the teacher said, "No, it has 1 syllable. You clap and you know how many syllables it has." And so she said, "How do you guys, well, not you guys, that's a Michigan. How do y'all think it has 2?" And my mom said, they all went, "And," and came up with 2. And the teacher's like, "No, it's and." And they're like, "And." Okay. Maine is the only state. Oh, yeah, we already did that. Podunk is in Massachusetts. Okay. In terms of area, Juneau, Alaska is the largest city in the United States, yet it can only be reached by boat or plane. Yeah, that's true. I'm going there. I told you guys, because of this channel, I decided I have to get to Alaska to learn more. And it is the only state I haven't been to. But one of the places we're going is Juneau. And yeah, I was real surprised to learn that's their capital, right? Yeah, it's their capital. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let's double check because I don't want to mess up Alaska again. Does this show you the capital? Yeah, it's the capital. But you can only get there by boat or plane. There are no roads that take you into Juneau. Fascinating. There is a regulation size half court on which employees can play basketball inside Matterhorn at Disneyland. Really? Inside the Matterhorn? Isn't the Matterhorn the ride that goes like around in circles? There's a regulation size half court. Huh, maybe I don't know what Matterhorn is. Oh, I don't remember. I've only been to Disneyland once when I was like a little kid. The gold decorating the exterior of It's a Small World at Disneyland isn't paint, but in fact 24-karat gold leaf. You guys, I'm starting to think we already did this. Did I lose my spot? I am sure I read that fact. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to wonder, am I rereading? Oh well, I'm telling different stories. I'm sorry if I swear I marked my spot. I'm so confused. I know I read this one. When Disneyland opened in 1955, Tomorrowland represented a city from 1986. The future. That's funny. That is interesting. An unbelievably rude waiter at Oscar's Tavern in New York so unintentionally amused Muppet creator Jim Henson and Sesame Street director John Stone that he inspired the creation of Oscar the Grouch. Oh, Oscar's Tavern. So he was a rude waiter at Oscar's Tavern and he inspired Oscar the Grouch. That's funny. Bert and Ernie are believed to be named after Bert the cop and Ernie the taxi driver in It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, I've heard that. If you haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life, that's a pretty good Christmas movie. It's nice. Big Bird's costume is made of turkey feathers dyed yellow. The original Clarabelle in Howdy Doody was played by Bob Keeshan, who went on to become Captain Kangaroo. The first Ronald McDonald was Today Show personality Willard Scott. I didn't know that, but I bet a lot of people don't know who any of these people are. Clarabelle, Captain Kangaroo, Willard Scott. I don't know. Even Ronald McDonald's gone now, isn't he? All right, guys, I might save the rest of this because I can feel a cough coming on. But I do think I'm beginning to get over this cold. So hopefully I didn't just reread all the same facts. Oh, well, if I did, I did. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-doo. I was thinking I was doing McDonald's, but that wasn't it. It goes like ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Something like